What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Brody Frye, and this is the Mind Hiking Podcast. Today, we're talking about consciousness, guilt, and doing the right thing up in this bitch. So if you're not interested in that, I don't care. Sit down and stay tuned. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and here we dive deep into difficult questions. We'll map out thoughts, theories, and crazy ideas for the love of knowledge and growth. So, how do we answer some of the mind's toughest questions? This is the Mind Hiking Podcast. All right, guys, welcome back. Now, what was that dumb shit we were supposed to talk about? No, I'm just kidding. Actually, this is pretty important. But before we get into it, I want to just say a little disclaimer or whatever you want to call it. Katie's got a work phone in this room that just keeps dinging away, and it's driving me absolutely insane, and I can't find it. It's just buried in here somewhere, but I hear it like every few minutes just dinging, and I can't find it. So if that goes off, I am sorry. This is my second episode that I've recorded today, and it was in my previous episode I already recorded, and I cannot find the phone, so my apologies for that. All right. So consciousness, guilt, and doing the right thing. Very important. For me, a lot of times I feel like I look around the world and just kind of see people and see the decisions that they're making. And I just look and I'm like, do you even have anything going on up there? It's like, and a lot of times I don't even mean it in like a dick way. Like sometimes I just like think, what is going through your head? Like there's the phone. But the other day I was at a dealership and there's a tool on the ground and one of the mechanics or one of the techs walks by and kicks it and it goes flopping down the shop. He walks into one of the back rooms. I'm just waiting to get some paperwork. And he walks back out towards where he just kicked it and kicks it again. And I'm just like, what are you even doing? Like, it's nowhere near where it used to be, but he just like kicked it and then just kept walking. And then it laid there the entire time I was still there. And then I left. But I'm like, it's just like things like that where it's like, and of course, he's got earbuds in his ear. And I'm just like, what is even going through? Probably nothing is going through his mind. He's just like sees something to occupy his mind, and he just like kicks it. And I don't even know if he has the capacity to get a giggle out of it or what. I think it's just emptiness. But just like I don't understand how you can't do that without. I don't understand how you can do that, but like, why you don't at least just pick it up. Like, it just like, and honestly, I wish I didn't think like this because sometimes I think it's a curse. Like, it's like almost like there's a separate voice in my head that's telling me like, Brody, no, that's wrong. Or whatever. Like, I'll see garbage, like if I'm in the grocery store or like a box is on the ground in a grocery store, but the shelf it belongs to is like right there. I'll be like first I'll just be like, what the hell? Who knocks that shit down and just leaves it there, first of all? And then I like want to walk past it because I'm like, fuck that. Some idiot knocked that down and they can pick it up or whatever. But who is that hurting? That's not hurting them. No, that's just gonna hurt the poor worker that has to pick it up. Maybe it was the worker that just didn't care about his job and he did it. But I guess I just don't want to assume that. In either way, that it doesn't matter because it's still, either way is still wrong. And I just have this voice in my head that's just like, just pick it up. It's just the right thing to do. And sometimes I feel like a lot of times I get walked on because of this, like, almost curse of consciousness, like this second voice in my head telling me that like what's right and wrong, where just like I find myself picking up after everybody else or cleaning up or doing whatever, fixing problems that aren't mine to begin with, but I fix it because this voice just tells me to. And I don't know. It's just and it's not like it's like somebody else's voice either. So I'm not trying to like sound like I'm crazy or insane or anything. Like it, I think I'm pretty sure, I don't know how deep we can dive on this, but I'm pretty sure it's me, like subconsciously. I think it's just like me, my conscious self is just like, fuck that, that's for somebody else. That's not my problem. And then my subconscious steps in a little bit slower of a reaction. It's just like, nope. It's like that second hit, that second wave where it's like, no, that's not right. Like your immediate like knee jerk reaction wants to be like me, like screw that. That's not my problem. I need to look after number one. And then your subconscious is like, nope, there's a greater good. Just go pick it up or whatever. And then if I don't do that, like it's just like there's been times where situations like that happen and like I try to force myself to be like, just get out of here. It's not your problem. You have absolutely nothing to do with that. You just happen to walk down this aisle and see a mess, and you're going to embarrass yourself if you try to clean this up, because then anybody else that walks down this aisle is going to think that you made the mess. And then you're just going to get yourself in trouble just for trying to help. But I can't, like, I'll walk out and then come back because I'm like my gut in my stomach. I can't, like, it's like I can't live with myself knowing that I know that. Like, I know that's there and it's just eating me up inside. Like, I could have done something and I didn't. I'm sure everybody has something in their lives where, like, regret is so strong. I'm sure everybody has something in their minds, something in their lives that they extremely regret. And there was something very specific that you could have done but chose not to. And I'm sure if that regret is strong enough and you guys have an example, which I'm sure all of you do, you can pinpoint with extreme precision the very exact second and the very exact decision that you could have made differently that would have completely changed the outcome. I'm sure we all have that. All of us have experienced regret. All of us have experienced guilt, and all of us know exactly what we could have done. It's like hindsight's 20/20 is what they always say. But in the moment, I feel like it's that second voice where it's like, no, you shouldn't do that, but you want to fight it because it just doesn't feel good. Like, it feels better. It feels good to say, fuck that. That's not my problem. That's somebody else can mess with that. But that's like the immediate gratification. But that's not how the ultra successful get successful. And it's just an easy example. I like to bring wealth and success into my podcast. But, and again, I always say, like, wealth and success, that doesn't necessarily always mean financially. You got to determine what that means for you. But they don't look for immediate gratification, because that's like spending what you have now gone just to immediately gratify yourself. It's like if you do drugs, I'm sure they feel good, but people blow their money on that, and it's immediate gratification or stimulation or numbs the pain because you can't handle it, and you're just putting it off for the short term, in the now gratification, which is, first of all, only making you weaker because you're putting off that pain and suffering for future you, and I'm sure you don't envy that guy. But the successful are able to stock up, like store up. They make the tough decisions now. They sacrifice the now for the greater good in the future. It's like basic, like human, it's like the earliest of human culture and society. That's what agriculture is. That's farming. What you're doing is planting in the spring to harvest for the fall, so you have nourishment through the dead winter. And it's very simple. And still, there's so many people nowadays that just can't figure that out. Probably a lot of that has to do with because we're living in these concrete jungles, and people just are so disconnected with life and society, and well, not society, they're too connected to society, but disconnected from life and nature, that they don't understand how it all works anymore, and they don't even realize that they're still a part of it, which they always will be. And Mother Earth doesn't stop teaching you lessons because you built skyscrapers around you. So it's just how the world works. You gotta... I'm just like running this full circle in my head. Sorry for the pause, but just like it, the immediate gratification is usually a bad thing. And, but again, like everything, it's so variable and such a fine line everywhere you walk. So there's so much to it, because the other extreme is burnout. So again, there's arguments for everything that you could possibly say. So nobody's ever going to be happy, which it's fine. Fuck them. But that's just setting you up for success. And just knowing what's right is usually putting off that immediate gratification, usually storing up for the winter, and being a good person. And that's like storing up wealth for your soul. When you make the right choices, when you do the right things, when you help people out, when you see somebody struggling, like there's been times where like older people in like their shopping carts, you know, the ride-on shopping carts, the electric shopping carts, they're like, and a lot of times people that are using those definitely shouldn't be using those, because that's just a frustrating topic in the first place. You should probably, I mean, yeah, people that are injured, that's one thing, but like the obese people, that's probably walking from your car to the cart is probably the most exercise you get in a day, and that's probably the last thing you should be doing is hopping on that thing. The very least you could do is at least walk the fuck around the grocery store. But again, you see those people, and that's not your life, that's not my life, so make your own choices. But you see, like, I've seen people like that sitting in their cart reaching up for a higher shelf and they can't reach it, and like I'm sitting there watching, and like that's my immediate thought, like, fucking just get up, just get up and grab it. But then that second voice pops in my head and is just like, not even just be nice, but go help them. And a lot of times, because there's a lot of people like that, unfortunately, and it's just getting worse. But a lot of times I'll see those people, and then that second voice comes, and it's always better if I listen to that second voice, because then I go over there and I'm like, can I reach that for you, or you need a hand? And I just grab it for them, and usually they're super sweet and thank me. Sometimes you get dickheads, but that's a sacrifice that, I mean, everybody's different, and you win some, you lose some, I guess. There's such a mix of different types of people, so you're gonna get those dickheads, and you're gonna get super sweet people, but I think the majority of society is good people, so they'll appreciate it, and it makes you feel good, just doing the right thing, just helping somebody out. If you can make somebody else's life easier, like actually easier, not make it more complicated, but act like it's easier, or like assume like, oh, if you do this or that or whatever, that'll make your life better, but it doesn't, because it's really just bullshit paperwork. No, just do the right thing. It's always gonna be the deeper thought, the processed thought, because the knee-jerk reaction is gonna be like, that's gonna be your short-term pleasure. So you gotta give it a minute, and that goes for a lot of different things, arguments too, and stuff like that, where every time you say something you regret, it's a knee-jerk reaction, and just give it that second thought, and the waiting is always better. And just listen to what I'm finding in my life is, just when I listen to that second wave, that second voice, or that other voice in my head, the less controlling voice, and the voice speaks to me in the way that makes sense, that it sounds like it would, where it's not just telling me to do this, but it's speaking in a way that corresponds with the message it's getting across, if that makes any sense to you guys. It's not like, don't be a dickhead, go help that person. No, it's not like that. It's not speaking to me like the first voice would. It's speaking to me like the message it's trying to get across. So it's like that, it'll say like, that's not right, just go help that person. Or like, if you're walking past a piece of garbage and it's directly in your path, and you like walk around it, and then the second, and you're just like, la 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 la, just trying to get past it, because you're like, that's not mine, I didn't put that there, fuck that, there's no garbage cans around. And then the second voice is just like, stop, just pick it up, it's not that hard. And then you just go, you pick it up, and it's, those things are like very frustrating at times, because I'm like, fuck, why do I have to have this curse? It's so frustrating, because like, a lot of times I feel like it is a curse. I'm like, why do I have to do all this shit that like, this wasn't me, blah, 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 but it's that immediate gratification that's trying to convince me. But the slower voice is always right. And in the end, you feel good, because you drive home from work that day, or you drive home from the grocery store, or you lay in bed that night and you smile. You feel good. Like, yeah, that sucked in the moment because it wasn't me, and you took a step in making the world a better place. You did your part. When you listen to that second voice and you make the right decision, you're doing everything you can. You're doing your part in the only thing you can do in that moment to make the world a better place. Because every single day we have choices like those. And you can choose, because as a collective good, you in your individual seat in this collective good has a choice each moment to make this world better or worse. And when you listen to that immediate gratification, you're choosing to make this world whatever choice you're making, whether it be striving for immediate gratification or choosing weakness or choosing playing the victim or trying to take the easy way out. But when you think for a minute and you choose the right thing to help somebody, maybe that's going to make that other person want to help somebody too and have a little bit more faith in society. And maybe you will, maybe even single-handedly, you start a snowball, start a chain reaction, and it can start with you just by making the right decision. And this isn't like a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is a every single day, moment by moment, nonstop. You're handed these opportunities. And it is completely up to you to choose what to do and where this world is going. I'm going to leave you with that. So make good choices today. Do the best you can and try to listen to that little voice in your head. Try to see if you got one too. And I'm pretty sure we all do. So keep your ears open and your mind open for that and make this world a better place, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.